Hi everyone, thanks for coming to the orientation today. My name is John. I'm the dedicated financial aid counselor for the DDS program. So all of you in the DDS program, I'll be handling your financial aid. Any questions you have, you can email me. I'll show you my contact information at the end of the presentation. This is for everyone starting in the fall of 2020. So let's get started. So the first thing, I always like to start off with this slide just in case you're going to kind of zone out and not really listen the whole time. At the very least, take out your phone, take a picture of this slide. This is going to be very important points, and if you miss everything else, this should at least be able to get you through the application process, give you some good resources there, okay? So I recommend checking out the financial aid checklist on our website. And the link should be on your screen right now, or if this is being presented, you'll be able to see that now. You're going to need to fill out the Fafsa, the free application for federal student aid. Make sure you fill out the current year Fafsa. So right now, you're going to need to fill out the 2020 to 2021 Fafsa. Also do the master promissory note and the entrance counseling. This is very important because even if you filled out the Fafsa, got a financial aid award and accepted it, it can't get disbursed out to you until we have the master promissory note and the entrance counseling finished. Okay, this is a very common issue that students come up with. The loans don't get disbursed on time because they're missing those two documents, so please fill those out. Make sure you clear all holds. Even if you accepted financial aid in your MyUTH, it won't disperse if you have holds through the School of Dentistry sometimes puts holds on there. If you need immunizations, they'll put a hold on there in Student Health Services. So make sure that any holds that are in your account are cleared, okay? Make sure that you're going to be checking your university email. When we contact you, we do not send anything to your personal email address. It always goes to the university email. So if you're not used to using that, make sure that you do check that regularly, okay? And please read all correspondence. I cannot tell you how many, really how many questions we get, people emailing or calling the office for questions that can be answered by reading your award notice, okay? So please read anything we send to you. It might look like boring fine print, but it is some very important information we're sending out to you, okay? Always keep in mind that aid is split into 2 disbursements. So you'll get half, whatever amount you accept, you get half in the fall and half in the spring. So you'll get half in August and then the other half at the end of December, beginning of January for the next semester, okay? This is a very common issue, especially for those students who want to take less than the full offered amount in their award. You need to keep in mind that whatever amount you accept, it's going to be broken into half. So you get half in the fall and then half in the spring, okay? And then refunds are handled by the bursar's office. After disbursement day, we get many students calling our office thinking we handle the refunds, wondering why they haven't received their refund yet, and it's handled by the bursar's office. So give them a few days after disbursement day to get that out to you. If you've signed up for direct deposit, you'll get it faster than someone who has to wait for a paper check, okay? All right, so let's get started here. This is the contact information for the financial aid office. We're located in the UCT Tower at 7000 Fannin Street on the 22nd floor. You'll see our phone number there. Regular office hours, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., closed university holidays, of course. And our mailing address is there. This is the mailing address where, say you have an outside scholarship program and they want to send a check for your account. That's the mailing address you would use. And if you are going to have an outside scholarship agency send a check, make sure that they do put your student ID number on there as well, okay? And more information, we have a Twitter page, so make sure you follow us on Twitter, and don't discount our website. You can save a lot of time, instead of calling the office and being on hold or you can't get through, especially at busy times, it's very difficult to get through to our main line, or waiting for someone to email you back. It may be something that you could solve by doing 5 minutes of research on the website by yourself. So there's a lot of useful information on the website. Don't discount that resource, and it's a very important resource. Okay. So as we mentioned previously, the FAFSA form, you definitely need to fill this out every year. Don't think that you filled it out once for your first year and then it's good the whole time. No, every year it needs to be filled out again. Okay, always make sure you put in the UT Health school code. It's a very common issue. Students don't put the school code and then the FAFSA doesn't show up in our system. Okay, so make sure that that school code is in there. Our school code is 013956, and that tells the Department of Education, please send my FAFSA information to UT Health Science Center at Houston. Okay, so you fill out the FAFSA at studentaid.gov. Many of you probably have already done that. If you haven't, you should do that because the time to pay tuition is coming up. So if you want to use student loans, federal student loans, or private student loans to pay for your tuition, make sure that you do have a FAFSA. Even for private student loans, we still need a FAFSA on file for you. Okay. Make sure you select the correct aid year. This is important, especially once you get second, third, and fourth year. Make sure that you're selecting the correct aid year each time, because when the FAFSA opens in October for the next aid year, you're still going to be able to fill it out for this aid year. So if you select the current aid year, we're not going to get it for next year, and you meant to fill it out for next year. So really pay close attention to those details as you're filling out the FAFSA, okay? And then verification. A few students may see that we're requiring additional documentation, like it might say conflicting tax information or citizenship, one of those error codes. If you do have that on your account, every year there's someone who gets them. It's just kind of bad luck, I guess. That means that the Department of Education has asked us to get more documents from you and verify the information in your FAFSA, okay? Don't automatically send us anything, okay? Wait for the financial aid counselor to contact you and tell you exactly what we are going to require from you, because if you start just uploading any old documentation, your file gets messy very quickly. So make sure that you've contacted us and we know exactly, what we're requiring from you, okay? If you're selected for verification. Most students are not going to get selected for verification, but if you are, we'll let you know exactly what we need from you. Remember, the FAFSA is going to be submitted every year, and it opens October 1st. So you already submitted for the 2020 to 2021 school year, hopefully. This October, so just 2 months from now, on the 1st, it will open to submit for next school year, so for the 2021 to 2022 aid year. So I recommend filling out the FAFSA early on October 1st if you can, so that you'll be first in line for any grant funding that may come available. Also, it'll give us plenty of time in case there's any problem with your application, plenty of time to work that all out, okay? If you wait until the very last minute, it's going to be much more difficult for you to get everything done on time, okay? So make sure you file it in October, give us plenty of time to work on your file. Now, you should be able to access My UTH now, and in My UTH, in the financial aid side, you'll be able to accept and decline awards. If you're expecting an external scholarship, you can put that in there so that we'll be on the lookout for that check to come in. You can review disbursements, so if you're going to take loans every year, right now you're just entering, so you won't have any disbursements yet, but once you get to fourth year, you'll be able to view prior disbursement dates during your whole time here at UT Health. Okay. This is where your holds are going to show up. Make sure you check this account regularly, because not just financial aid, but any department at the university can put a hold on your account. And if you see that pop up, you should be able to click on it, and you can view which office you need to contact, or maybe they want documents from you, or they just requiring something from you that you need to submit. So make sure you keep an eye out for holds that may pop up at any time. All right. To-do list, if we're requesting any documents from you, that will show up in your to-do list. Make sure that you take care of those with plenty of time of anticipation. Okay, please don't wait until the last minute. It's really stressful for students and stressful for us if people wait until the very last minute, and then you end up getting late fees or missing deadlines, that kind of thing. So make sure you do everything with plenty of time. Okay. Communications you'll be able to view in MyUTH, so you'll be able to download your old award notices, that sort of thing. And something I always recommend that is more in the bursar side is you can grant permissions to pay all charges for financial aid, and the bursar can explain this more to you, and this will make sure that the bursar can use your financial aid money to pay all the charges on your account. Okay. And then also sign up for direct deposit. The bursar's office manages the direct deposit, and you can put in your bank account information so that the student loan money that you take, some of it will go towards your tuition and fees, and then whatever's left over will get refunded to you. Sign up for direct deposit because it's much simpler than waiting for a paper check. It's much faster. You don't have to worry about a check getting lost in the mail, that sort of thing. The direct deposit takes about 2 to 3 business days after disbursement day to get the money into your bank account. With a paper check, it's going to take more like 5 to 7 business days. So it's much longer. You have to wait until they, print a paper check and mail it out to you from the UT system. So just go for the direct deposit. It's the 21st century here, so we're trying to really push the direct deposit. It's much simpler for everyone. So when you go to our website, this is what you'll see on the screen. I have the link right down there, and on the left side of the website, you'll see a blue box. If you click on financial aid, the very first link will say apply now for financial aid, and then you'll be able to select the UT Health students apply for financial aid checklist. So this is a very long, very complete document. I mean, financial aid may be boring to you, but make sure you do take some time and really read these documents carefully that we're sending to you, because there's a lot of useful information for you. Okay. Now, the 3 major ways that you're gonna pay for school, almost everyone is gonna use some combination of loans, grants, and scholarships. Okay. Loans are going to be really the lion's share of paying for your tuition and fees, especially the federal direct unsubsidized loan. This is really the main loan, probably the highest amount that you'll see in your award notice, and you can accept, reduce, or decline that loan directly in MyUTH. The Direct Graduate Plus loan, you won't see the option to accept in MyUTH. And I cannot tell you how many people call my office saying, what is wrong with the system? Why can't I accept the plus loan? You can't accept the plus loan because this is credit based. So you have to go back to studentaid.gov where you filled out your Fafsa. You need to fill out the graduate plus loan application. And then the Department of Education will approve or deny you based on your credit. While you're there, also remember to fill out the Graduate Plus Loan Master Promissory Note and entrance counseling if you wish to take that loan. Some of you may take private loans. If you are going to take a private loan, still make sure that you complete the current year's Fafsa, because we do need that on file to calculate how much you're going to be eligible for. So we're going to work directly with the bank of your choice. We're going to certify you up to a certain amount, and then they will send the funds directly to our office, okay? Grants. Everyone wants grants because they don't need to be paid back by loans. So the big one that you'll get here is the Texas Public Education Grant, or TPEG grant. You may see something in your, some of you may see in your award notice, TPEG, or Designated Tuition Grant. These are really the same thing. This is dependent on continued funding from the Texas State Legislature. I think this year, some of the grants were up to $8,000, so it's an excellent grant. You must have an estimated family contribution calculated by Fafsa of 0. So if your EFC is above 0, you won't be considered for the TPEG grant, but you may be considered in subsequent years if you do have a 0 EFC, okay? You can't apply for this grant, but you're automatically considered, and if you have 0 EFC, you're on the list for the TPEG grant. And the way we give it out is, if you applied on October 1st and have an EFC, the first people in line will get that grant until the money's gone. And there's not much money coming from the Texas state government. Hopefully they will increase the amount that they support public education, but for now, we're only able to give very few of these grants each year. So make sure you do apply on October 1st for the FAFSA. Make sure you're first in line for all those grants, okay? Scholarships also are basically free money for school. You don't need to pay that back. No interest charged on scholarships. And the institutional scholarships are managed by the Student Affairs Office at the School of Dentistry. So you can get in touch with them and see what kind of application you'll need to fill out to be considered for those scholarships, and the Student Affairs Office will automatically apply those to the student accounts. It's usually closer to when classes are starting, so don't call my office, a month before school and be like, my scholarship's not on my account. The Student Affairs Office will put them on usually a week or two before classes begin, and you'll be able to see it show up on there, okay? So I just want to touch very briefly on the cost of attendance. The cost of attendance, this includes everything basically that could be considered for educational expenses so that you're able to go to school. So tuition, fees, required books and supplies for your classes, even living expenses, so room and board, transportation, miscellaneous expenses like laundry, entertainment. We've really taken into account everything that you need to be able to carry out your studies here at UT Health, and the cost of attendance is how we calculate the amount of financial aid you're eligible for, okay? So including grants, scholarships, loans, everything, you need to satisfy up to the cost of attendance, okay? And we've included all of these, so everyone should be able to survive with the amount of money. Some people say, I can't survive with this amount of money, but we've taken into account a reasonable amount for living expenses like rent and transportation for here in the area of the medical center, okay? And this is just a quick look. I don't want you to get caught up in these numbers right here. This is the budget. This is not the exact tuition that you personally will be charged. You may spend more or less than this on books and supplies. If you buy a really expensive textbook, you may spend more than your classmate who bought the previous edition, something like that, but everyone has the same budget, okay? So that's what I want you to keep in mind. The cost of attendance is not what you're going to be charged, okay? You will almost certainly end up with living expenses hardly anyone is going to spend exactly $26,832, but this is the amount that's budgeted for your living expenses, okay? So keep in mind that these are not exact numbers of what you personally will spend or be charged, but this is the budget that we have for you, okay? And then this is the complete breakdown of, we even include loan fees, transportation, and personal and miscellaneous expenses. And the link that you see right now is where you can find this document on our website. Okay. I always want to touch on emergency loans very quickly. These are short-term 90-day loans that must be repaid to the school, okay? Now, tuition emergency loans have a 5% interest rate, and you can take an emergency loan for up to the amount of tuition and fees due on your account. I would recommend taking the tuition emergency loan only if it's getting close to the payment deadline and you still have something outstanding on your account that we weren't able to process your financial aid on time, but you're absolutely sure that within maybe 2 or 3 weeks you are going to get that financial aid to come in and be able to pay back that emergency loan, okay? Now with the living expense emergency loans, these are no interest loans, but they must be repaid within 90 days. DDS students can get up to $1,000, but I recommend you not to take the living expense emergency loan unless you're absolutely convinced that you're gonna have the money to pay it back within 90 days, because if you default on these emergency loans, you'll get holds on your account, late fees. It's just a big problem. I see people default on the emergency loans, and it's a huge issue. I don't want to see anybody in that situation, so really try to avoid it if you can, okay? Try to avoid taking those living expense emergency loans, okay? Now, here's some homework for when you leave here. I'll give you a to-do list. I want you to go into My UTH, clear any holds that you have pending. If you have to-do list items, so if we're asking for some document from you, if we need to verify your citizenship, you may need to upload a document there, or any other thing that you're required to submit. Make sure that you get those taken care of as soon as you can. If the registrar's office wants transcripts from you, you may need to submit those. Make sure that you do grant permissions to pay all charges. That is in the bursars section of the My UTH, but make sure that you do that so that your financial aid can pay all the charges on your account. All right. I also recommend signing up for the installment plan. The reason for this is because, so we mentioned that your aid is split into half and half, so half in the fall and half in the spring, but your tuition is all due in the fall. So if you sign up for the installment plan, this will make your tuition due half in the fall and half in the spring. So it'll sort of even out your charges along with the financial aid that's going to be coming in. Okay, that's why I recommend the installment plan. All right. This is where you can accept and decline financial aid awards. If you have not already accepted your financial aid award, you should do that as soon as you can, because it's almost time to get the tuition paid. The financial aid is going to be dispersing very soon. And remember to fill out the master promissory note and the loan entrance counseling. Definitely do those two. Make sure that you've completed them, because if you haven't done them, your loans will not get dispersed on time. Okay, you'll have to go back and do it. Those are done on studentaid.gov using the same username and password that you use to fill out the Fafsa. And we definitely require those. Remember, there's a separate MPN and entrance counseling for the PLUS loan. So if you do the PLUS loan application, you're not done. You also have to do the MPN and entrance counseling for PLUS loan. All right. And sign up for the direct deposit so that you can get your refund a little faster. Remember, it takes 2 to 3 business days. Don't call our office. Don't call the bursar's office on disbursement day. Wait a few days. You should see it. If your money gets dispersed on Monday, that's when the money comes to the school, but it won't go out to you until probably like the end of the week. If it's disbursed on Friday, look for the middle of the next week, okay? And if you don't sign up for direct deposit, you'll be waiting for a paper check. That takes about 5 to 7 business days, okay? So don't panic if you don't see the money immediately in your account. It does take a few days, okay? So this is our list of financial aid counselors. My information is highlighted down there in red. I'm the designated financial aid counselor for the McGovern Medical School and DDS students, not the entire School of Dentistry. So graduate dental or dental hygiene is not my area, but I am for DDS or MD students. Also, if you're a dual degree student, so if you're a DDS, MPH, that kind of thing, you will be dealing with me. This is my phone number and my email address. Right now, currently, we are partially working remotely, partially in the office, so the best way really to get in touch with me is by email. I respond pretty quickly as soon as I see it. And really it's the best way, especially if you have several questions. Just send me an email and list them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. And that way I can get you the best answer, especially like if I have to look something up and really get you the best, most accurate, most complete information. It's easiest just to respond to you by email, whereas if you're on the phone, you may be spending more time on hold, that kind of thing. So email is definitely the preferred communication method these days, okay? So in case you forgot to take out your phone and take a picture in the beginning, we're going to repeat this slide just to recap. Download the financial aid checklist. That sheet also has some very useful phone numbers on it. So phone number for our office, for the bursar's office, and the registrar's office, really the main phone numbers that you're going to need while you're here. Remember to fill out the Fafsa for the correct aid year. For right now, it's 2020 to 2021. In October, the Fafsa is going to open for next year, so for your second year, the 2021 to 2022 Fafsa, okay? Also fill in the master promissory note and the entrance counseling. Remember that the PLUS loan has its own master promissory note and entrance counseling, very important. Make sure you clear any holds that are on your account. Check your email and read the correspondence. Please, please, I'm begging you, read the award notice. It will answer a lot of your questions, I promise. Remember that aid is split into 2 disbursements, especially if you're taking less than the full offered amount. You do need to take that into account. Remember, always accept more than you think that you will need. You would not believe how many students need to email me asking, oh, can you reset my award, or can you recalculate additional aid for me? You're going to need more than you think. Let's put it that way. You can always, make a payment in a month or 2, or at the end of the year if you realize you didn't need that much. They'll let you pay back some of the money, and you won't have to keep paying interest on that for years and years, okay? So as soon as you make the payment, then interest will stop accruing on the amount that you pay, all right? And aid is split into disbursements, we mentioned, and refunds are handled by the bursar's office. Do not call my office on disbursement day asking where your refund is. It takes a few days, and then if you're not able to track it after that, then you will need to get in touch with the bursar's office. Okay, we'll be able to answer some questions. So here are some common questions. One is, how do I accept the PLUS loan? So you don't accept the PLUS loan in MyUTH. There's a separate application on studentaid.gov. Remember, you also need to fill out the PLUS loan, master promissory note, and entrance counseling. All right. Once you submit that application along with the promissory note and entrance counseling, we don't require anything more from you. That will come to our office and we'll process it the rest of the way for you, okay? Another common question we get is, will we be able to see our financial aid package before holds are removed? Yes, you'll be able to view and even accept your financial aid before you remove holds. However, if a hold is on your account, it will prevent the aid from disbursing. So you do need to get that hold taken care of before the semester starts. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming today, and good luck with the upcoming school year. If you do have any questions, you can get in touch with me. All right.